Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razek, Senior Trading Strategist here at CM Trading, and today is April 10th, 2023, and today is Monday morning. So I want to welcome everybody back from the holiday weekend. Just be aware, we will be in a lighter trading atmosphere with volume being lowered because everybody's getting back from their holiday weekend. Now, looking at the highlights of the day, though, gold retracing back to support after hitting that high of 2027. We're just shy of 2K. No major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs pretty much tapering off on lighter volume. Looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq both trickling lower. And looking at commodities, oil remains unchanged while gold retracing. Looking at stocks, we're watching the tech stocks still continue to show strength on the upside. And lastly, is Bitcoin forming a wedge formation? We're going to take a look at that just a second. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to take a look at the Euro USD. Not much doing here, okay? All intents and purposes, we're really consolidating in a very, very tight range. Just below of our resistance level of 109.60-ish level. Just be aware of it. There's going to be a lot of activity this week as we continue getting a lot of economic data coming out, including CPI, including some stocks that are coming out with quarterly earnings. So it's gonna pick up just in the next couple of days. I believe it's gonna be a little bit quiet. Now GBP USD retracing down to its supportish level. This is important, and it's sitting on the 8-day moving average. So I'd like to see this bounce off of it. So keep an eye on this, because if it does break it, that means we could be somewhere in the 123-ish level, 122-ish level. 122 and a half even could retrace all the way back there, so keep that in mind. Now jumping into commodities, gold retracing back to that 1995. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's just retracing to that level after hitting 2030. It's hitting there on supportish level on a Fibonacci retracement. You can see that quite clearly, much clearer there. You can't see that red bar, but it's there. It's sitting on that support-ish system. So keep this in mind, because if it does hold it, then we will take this higher, just a matter of time. Okay, now looking at crude oil, holding on to its gains from last week of that gap up, but it's steady at $80 a barrel, not moving higher but not moving lower either. So just waiting for some sort of move in it before it does take some sort of trending in one way or another. Now looking at the US market, starting out with the Dow Jones, it's trickling just lower, just a little bit. Again, on lighter volume, just because we're coming back from the holiday season. When we look at the Nasdaq, also tracing a little bit more, about 20 points. Okay, not a big deal, but still retracing, just trickling lower in observance of the Easter weekend. Now looking at the individual stocks, this is where it gets interesting. Microsoft still remains very strong, 291 on its resistance level. Got to keep an eye on this to see if it does break above it, because that will be a telltale sign for it, because it is coming out with quarterly earning reports toward the end of the month. And looking at Apple, also close to its highs. Okay, if we look at the other majors, like Facebook, still very strong, about 216, even though it sold off a little bit there, but back to its highs. So the tech stocks are still following through. The question is how they're going to come out after these earning reports. Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, setting up a bit of a wedge formation. Let's take a look at that, because it kind of set that up, and now it's setting this up, which will imply that if it's a right wedge formation, it's going to break out to the high, okay, to new highs. So keep that in mind. Take a look at this. Keep an eye on this, because it may do that breakout, okay, either to the upside, and if it does fake us, it'll take us to the downside, but it does create an opportunity nonetheless. So keep an eye on it as this still unfolds today. This is Fred Razek. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.